Greetings, YouTube. It is now time to discuss the buff of Thor Jane Foster. Now, I think this is one of those things that we've been trained now to be cautious on. Deadpool X-Force has pretty cool new animations, and that's about where the excitement ends. Yondu does have a buff, but I don't know anybody that still uses them. But the exciting thing about this is that Thor Jane Foster, I swear, her drop rates in crystals, especially 6-star basic crystals, are so through the roof. It almost feels like a rite of passage when you play this game to land on a 6-star Thor Jane Foster, or a 5-star for that matter. So a lot of you have been playing the game for years, probably have her awakened already, and currently have little use for her, other than a couple interesting aspects of her utility that people fear will be compromised. Similar to how we worried that the regen utility of Guillotine would be compromised when she was buffed, and that fear was actualized in reality, unfortunately, after that original buff, and I say buff in air quotes, was executed. So let's check out the description for her champion spotlight. First off, November 3rd, 2014 is the original info page. That is 7.5 years ago. Wow. Of course, 6 stars didn't exist. I don't even know if 5 stars existed in 2014. Alright, Jane is the queen of all things shock. Using her special attacks, apply shocks to the opponents, empowered differently by each special. While under the effect of a stun, Jane's opponents will suffer some serious damage with guaranteed critical attacks. Keep the shocks going as well and gain a strong chance to stun. While her new empowered shocks to keep the opponent stuck in the corner all day long. That sounds like prostitution. Stagger. Jane can apply staggers with ease on her heavy attack as long as the opponent doesn't start the fight with a buff. You should be able to keep them to a minimum. Stun. She packs a punch, landing basic attacks on a shocked opponent is going to let you stun them over and over and over again. While striking a stunned opponent, Jane will have guaranteed critical hits, meaning more damage and ignoring most resistances and armor. Keep the shocks going the whole fight to maximize her damage and apply even more stuns. I wish this is like the stun lock that they actually had to do the patch 12.04 with Scarlet Witch, where you could just chain stun somebody in the corner. And if you remember that back in the day, you OGs, boy, good times. That's how I explored so much of Act 4. Shock and stun immune. If she can't shock or stun, Jane will have a tough time with getting her damage utility going, being the biggest weakness to her powers. Alright, so ability is always active. Huge amount of energy resistance. Causes enemy shock effects to suffer minus 100% potency. While fighting science champions, this reduction drops to minus 20 potency. While the opponent is shocked, Thor gains plus 30% perfect block chance. All attacks have a 21%, that's random, chance to inflict 2.1 seconds stun blow. 2.1 seconds is a pretty good amount of time, though. While the opponent is stunned, Thor's attacks strike with guaranteed critical hits and gain 1081.82 critical damage rating. Thor benefits from rank 3 of the Petrify Mastery, even if it is not activated. For each rank that is activated, she gains a plus 230 attack rating. Wow. Working directly with the Mastery tree. That's unique. Developer note, I love to throw a medium 2 as soon as I see the stun hit the opponent and reset my combo and keep as many attacks as possible going while stunned. Good tip. Heavy attacks inflict up to 2 stagger passives on the opponent lasting 17 seconds, 100% chance each. Love the 100%. Jane's primary tool for buff control, chain heavy attacks to apply a ton of staggers and keep opponents' buffs down. Special attack 100% chance to inflict a shock debuff. Special attack 200% chance to inflict a shock debuff. And the shock is paused for 7 seconds each time a buff from the opponent is nullified. Cosmics beware. This empowered shock against Cosmic Champions is a great way to keep stunning and critical hits to a max against any pesky buff users. Special attack 3, 100% chance to inflict a shock passive causing 6,097 energy damage over 13 seconds. The shock is paused for half second each time the opponent is stunned. Longer fights, I love to try and race to a special 3 and see how long I can keep it active. This will also help a ton with debuff immune fights. That which smashes. Each time Thor inflicts a personal shock effect on the opponent, she also has a 100% chance to nullify all power gain buffs on them. Additionally, while the opponent has at least one shock effect on them, they suffer an 80% reduction in the ability power rate. Synergy bonuses. Thor, Valkyrie, Korg, Gore the God Butcher, plus 5% combat power rate, plus 130% armor rating, plus 5% perfect block chance, and plus 6% attack rating. Romance with Thor, all champions plus 5% combat power rate. Teammates with Joe Fixit, Vision, block chance, Friends, Black Widow. Recommended masteries, Stupefy, with so many stuns in her kit, making them last even longer as a dream. Mystic Dispersion, Jane excels when she can remove the opponent's buffs. Mystic Dispersion will help accelerate her special attack usage and let her keep the opponent shocked more often. That makes sense. So, I'm intrigued. I'm not going to make the mistake I've made in past months and years of declaring somebody as god tier potential off of just a description of a champion spotlight. Because something that can look great on paper, it's kind of like if any of you who have been brave enough to venture out into online dating. Can't tell you how many of my students have said, Prof, because I can't imagine, I didn't do online dating when I was in college. Prof, I matched with this person and met up with them, and they sounded nothing like the text on the screen. It didn't look like their photos. Well, I feel like we have Tinder trust issues with our champion spotlights in this community, where they don't appear to be anything like we thought we read on the text and don't look like that we thought they would either. So, online trust issues meet champion spotlights. Only channel on YouTube that's going to give you that expertise. I'm intrigued, though. What about you? Do you think she's going to be way better than OG Thor, and that will speak volumes to how bad he was nerfed way back in the day? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.